Now, to discuss all of this, we're joined by global affairs analyst Calvin Dack. Hi, good evening to you, Calvin, and thanks for joining us on OC Continental Prime.
Good to be here.
Now, Calvin, what does this suspension mean for Israeli relations in the African Union?
Well, I think the clearest message is that clearly Israel wants to deepen its relations with countries on the African continent, and there has been some, good reception towards that. But I think what they're saying now is that they have to face the things that they are doing and the relationship with that with African countries. For example, their treatment of the Palestinians, their commitment or lack thereof of a two-state solution. They have to realize that African countries are taking this into account, and it's a determining factor. So it doesn't surprise me what happened, but I think Israel has to realize that that is part of the equation if they want to be an observer of the African Union.
Now, can you tell us what criteria are used to determine whether a country should be granted observer status of the African Union? And in 2021, did Musa Faki Mahamat had the power to single-handedly grant Israel an observer status without consultation of fellow member states?
I think it was a mistake to make that a unilateral decision, even if he had the technical power to do it, simply because this is such a controversial issue. You have several African countries that have very strong, deservedly strong, reservations about Israel becoming an observer member of the AU. So I think it should have been brought to the body, or at least a committee. I think another reason why this has become such a big deal is it was decided that the committee of the heads of state were going to study this issue and, come up with a decision. They should have made that more known publicly before this so that the diplomatic kind of scuffle that we saw wouldn't have happened because that delegitimizes whatever decision the AU comes to as a group.
Now, finally, Calvin, before I let you go, why is Algeria and South Africa vehemently opposed to Israel's being granted an observer status? Because Israel has described it as pure hate and orchestrated by Iran.
Well, I think there are two ways to look at it. One is you could say from Algeria and South Africa that they are standing up against what they believe is the mistreatment of Palestinians and the lack of commitment for the two-state solution by Israel. What you could also see is that we know Israel's biggest international foe is Iran, and they probably do have influence, particularly with Algeria. So I don't think that it's either or. I think it's probably a mix of the two. But I think that diplomacy is needed to kind of figure out what the answer is.
Thank you very much, Calvin Dack, for your time, as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.